Okay guys, so today I want to go over pitch shots with you. And the three tips that I want to go over is ball position for the pitch shot. I want to go over length of the backswing. That might be customizable for each individual swing based on how far you hit it. And then also I want to go over body rotation. So I got my Garmin set up here. Hopefully I'll be able to track some yardages for you based on ball position, length of the backswing, body rotation, and everything. But first, let's jump right into the ball position. So for a pitch shot, I got a 56 degree here. We're really thinking of anywhere between 30 yards to 70 yards, 65 yards, something like that. And when you set up for a pitch shot, kind of similar to chipping, you want to have a more narrow stance. I'm got my feet about hips length apart and shoulder length apart. Whereas for a chip shot, it's about one club head, and then of course you got your full swing. So I'm about feet are about hips length apart. Now the ball is in the middle of my stance. I kind of have that outlined by this alignment stick here. And what this is really going to give you is more of a medium trajectory shot, potentially low rollout based on where you hit it off the club face. But I'll go ahead and do one for you here. Got my hands a little bit forward, weight on my left side. So the thing about the body rotation as well, you want your belt buckle really to be facing the target. And that's another thing with this alignment stick. What I like to do is feel the weight in my trail side, kind of my right knee here, go over the alignment stick where I finish. That really makes sure I get that full body rotation as I'm finishing out the pitch. So again, that was a medium trajectory shot, potentially a little bit of spin there. And that was based off the medium ball position. So now what I want to do is go over putting the ball a little bit back in your stance. Now this should give you a lower trajectory with more spin, potentially pulling that ball back a little bit once it hits the green. So go ahead and see if I can't show you that for you here. Now that was a terrible shot. We all have them, right? So let me see if I can't get a better one for you. So hey guys, editing Mark here. I wanted to show you some quick numbers from the pitch shot where the ball was back in my stance. Primarily the spin rate and the apex height. You can see a spin rate of 55.37 and an apex height of 7 meters, so about 21 feet. The Garmin is in my basement, so it's a little wonky, but I wanted to compare these two numbers to the numbers you'll see from the screenshot where the ball position was in the front of my stance. You'll see quite the difference there when we get to that. If you want to try and get some spin on the ball for your pitches, you see pros do it all the time. They bring that ball back on the string, right? That's kind of how they're doing it. They're hitting down on the ball, making sure they get ball first, and it rides up the grooves, gets that backspin once it hits the green and comes back. Um, Now, when you move the ball up in your stance for a pitch shot, right, you're going to get that more loft. You're going to get more dynamic loft you're adding to the ball and impact, so it's going to go higher. It's going to go higher and drop on the green. Hopefully, just kind of stay there. Doesn't really go forward, doesn't really go back. So, again, I got my hands forward ahead of the ball again for all of these shots, and my weight is on my left side. Primarily for all of them, I don't really have any drastic weight change on any three of the different shots. Um, Okay, so you'll see here for the shot where the ball was forward in my stance, we have a spin rate of 50.94 and an apex height of actually 15 meters. So especially the height, you can see it was much higher than the shot where the ball was back in my stance, and we have about 500 less RPM. So that's really the difference that I wanted to show there. You can tell the ball is going to go higher when you put the ball in the front of your stance. Sometimes it's primarily going to have less spin as well. So you want to take that into account when you're on the course. So really, that's ball position. I think it's a great thing to practice. You want to practice moving it up, moving it back, see what comes out of those shots on the range. Um, the next thing I want to get into really is the length of the backswing. So when we're talking about chipping, right, we're about here or so, right? And when we get into pitching, we're coming to these numbers. We're coming to these numbers, getting a little bit of hinge in the wrist at times. And of course, the longer the backswing, generally more distance is going to be on the ball. You want to make sure you keep up your speed through the shot for whatever distance, because if you don't, you're going to have some deceleration, right? You're going to top it, you're going to chunk it. So you want to make sure you keep the speed up on your pitch shots, just to make sure you're presenting the club face first. Now let's see if I can give you somewhere in the realm of 60 yards. I mean, for my 75-yard shot with a sand wedge, 56 degree, what I really like to do is think about right here. Right. That's about my 75-yard shot right there. This would be a full swing. You're getting that real turn in the rib cage, but you're making sure you got your weight already coming back to the front. Now for 50-yard shot or so, I don't know, it's probably something like right in here. So something like that. But you just have to play with it, right? You have to play with it on the range. Get yourself on a launch monitor somewhere. Track out your yardages. You'll save a lot of strokes around the green if you just know what your yardages are. That's what I recommend. And then the last thing I wanted to go over is body rotation. I talked about it a little bit already. But for pitch shots, you really want to make sure you're getting your body rotating back and through. Very, again, kind of minimal wrist action through the shot. So let's see. Let me do a little example for you here again. So you see my right knee is over the middle of where the ball was. My belt buckle is completely facing the target. You see a little bit of arch in my spine here. So I'm a little bit back in my upper body, which is fine because you want that disassociation for everything, including pitch shots. You want your shoulders to stay back so you're providing good contact. You want your hips leading like this. And then kind of you can saw off your finish a little bit for pitch shots, I think. You see a lot of pros doing that as well. So those are three things that I like to think of when I'm 50 yards out from the green, and then really nail home your yardages based on your backswing. Keep the speed up through the shot. And yeah, I get on the range, try it out, get yourself on a launch monitor, and you'll be golden. So yeah, hopefully these tips help you. I know it's kind of similar to the chipping video, but I think short game is extremely important, and moving in this kind of, I guess, order of chipping to pitching. Perhaps the next video will be full swing, right? So thanks everybody for chiming in today and checking us out. Really appreciate it. And yeah, next time you get on the course, hope you hit them straight.